Hi everyone, this is Boog Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Marvel Legends Cosmic Protectors. And this is Adam Warlock, and this is Ex Nihilo. And they're grouped together like that. I'm not actually sure why Hasbro does that, sometimes groups them together instead of making them individual names. But I'm just going to do a review on these together because they really don't have enough accessories or anything to do reviews by themselves. So before we take a look at Ex Nihilo, who comes with no accessories, we'll take a look at Adam Warlock, which comes with 3 accessories. So first up, Adam Warlock comes with these 2 identical energy effects, which looks really nice. It's actually just a repaint slash remold. I actually think it's just a remold. Yeah, a remold of the blasts that came with Havoc and then were reused with Polaris. I don't think they'd been used before that. Almost kind of looks like cotton candy to me, just the color of it. And these effects, well, hold on here. Let me show them next to the original effects. Here they are with Havoc. You can see this is like a cotton candy blue, and this is a translucent bright blue. And I like the translucent blue better. I don't know, I just think that looks a lot better. And so you can clip these on his arms, although I've had a lot of trouble keeping these on. I did hook mine together on Havoc because I had the same issue. It's just kind of dangles there, which is pretty infuriating. Now, on his left hand, you can actually get him in like a, let me show it here. How did I have this? Oh, that's how I had it. I had his fingers going through this slit right here. Let me work his fingers through it here. There. I kind of had him doing that, which actually looks pretty good. I just hate this fisted hand. I would have preferred, since he comes with energy effects, having 2 of the open hands, like for the energy effects. Because you can see that looks pretty awesome, like he's casting it on his left hand, and then on his right hand it's just like bleh. So that does bother me a lot. But if you put it on the way it's supposed to go, let me maneuver it here, it's really hard to get these on his left hand because of that thumb right there. This is just the Pizza Spider-Man's hands. It is actually very difficult to get these on now. Let's just take the hand off and then put this on. I'm sure that'd be much easier than struggling on camera. So, there. You can see that it kind of just does the same thing. Now, like I said, it doesn't actually look bad on his left hand because he has that kind of casting hand like he's making that energy effect. And then he has this fisted hand, which I'm just not a fan of. But you could do like I did with Havoc. Okay, let's just pop this hand off again. That's going to give me way too much trouble on camera here. And you can just loop them together. How did I do that? Oh, yeah. I loop together like this. So this seems to be a lot softer. There. Now I'm getting it. I kind of loop these together with these bubbles right here. I put them through these holes. I know that's not what it was meant for, but then you can get them like that. And you can have him posed like he's casting the effects together. Which I'm just going to put his hand like that, just to give you an example of it. Actually, it kind of looks like a mess, at least with the translucent one that came with Havoc. It looked a lot better, so I'm really not a fan of these effects. And so he has an alternate head here. Put that on there. Now, it is hard to get on. You kind of have to force it on, which I'm really afraid of doing. And this is the Mage's head sculpt. This is his evil version. This is his evil self. And I think that head sculpt looks really nice. Although if you're seeing what I do, the pupil on his right eye is just very bright yellow. And the one on the left here, it's non-existent. There's a little bit, I think, that they tried to put it on, but it just didn't come out. So it kind of looks funny. I mean, he still looks maniacal, but it just kind of looks funny that he doesn't have a pupil on his left eye. It's just a red eye. But I really love this head sculpt because the hair has that white color to it and has that dry brushing of blue in between. So this head sculpt is sculpted out very nicely and painted nicely. Except for those eyes. It just looks funny. So, a hack that I read for this, I'm not sure where I saw it, is that you can put this on the Doctor Strange body. And I think that looks really awesome, just so you can kind of have 2 figures. Plus, this is definitely an improvement over the Hulkbuster Wave Doctor Strange figure. So that's an improvement. So now we can take a look at our Adam Warlock figure. I had a lot more trouble with those effects than I thought I would, so it took a little longer. So this is the main head sculpt, and I really like it. I would have preferred a classic Adam Warlock, like from the Infinity Gauntlet kind of era, where he had like the red kind of, I don't know if it was a leotard, but he had the cape and the staff, and he looked a lot cooler. I'm not sure about this look. I mean, the toy is good, it's just, I'm not a fan of this look in the comics. But I do like the color of his eyes, because his eyes are actually like this silver bluish color, and the pupils are white, and that looks really awesome. And he has gray eyebrows, which I thought is odd. And he has blonde hair, like really kind of sandy blonde hair, with a dry brush and brown over. Looks pretty nice. Now, I found out that there are a lot of inconsistencies with the paint on this figure, because this is the Bucky Cap figure, and it is cast in black, and the red is painted over it. And when that happens, you tend to get a lot of black showing through, just with any figure that has those two colors. So, like, right here, you can see that the black isn't there. It like, chips off when you move the wrist. And the red right here on his shoulder, you can see a little bit of black through it right there. And on his left shoulder, it's actually pretty good. You can't see any of the black showing through or anything. And on his back, you get some black, like, in between his muscles right there. Like it isn't even painted on there. And this is the only new piece on this figure, of course, other than the head, is this loincloth piece. Which I also find really odd because there's no back piece to it. It kind of looks incomplete, which looks really odd. But he has some nice sculpting going on the belt right there. Kind of reminds me of Asgardian runes, which looks really cool. And then this piece, the fabric right here, it's cast in red, and the black is painted over it, which actually looks pretty nice. And then over here on his left hand, you get some more of that, where there's no black where it should be, right there on the joint. It's just red. And it actually looks really funny. Like, you could actually take a Sharpie and cover that up or something. I just hadn't done it yet because I did want to show that off in the review. And you can tell right here that some of the red, it looks darker than the red that's on his forearms and stuff. Like, you can actually tell that that's black, just because it's showing through just a little bit right here in between the muscles. So the paint apps are kind of inconsistent, which does bother me, but I kind of expected that with these two colors since it's cast in black and the red's painted over it. So now let's go over the articulation. He's got a ball jointed head that can look all the way up, can look all the way down. He can move his head side to side. He's got ball jointed shoulders that can move out that far. He's got a swivel at the bicep, double jointed elbow. He's got a swivel at the wrist that can move back and forth and side to side. He's got an ab crunch that can move back just a little bit and down all the way. He has a swivel at the waist. He's got ball jointed hips that can only move out that far. Doesn't move out as far as I'd like. He can kick forward all the way. That loincloth doesn't hinder it at all because it's very soft. He can kick back just a little bit. He's got a swivel at the thigh, double jointed knee, swivel at the shin, swivel at the ankle, and an ankle rocker that does not work. Like, you can try and force it. I don't want to break it. And that really bothers me because it's the same on his left leg too. You can't move. You can move it up and down, but you can't get that pivot right there, or that ankle rocker to move. It's just impossible. So that does bother me. So this figure, I wish it would have been better. It could have been better with the paint and the articulation, just because these ankles are really bothering me. But it's still pretty good because you can also make a second figure out of the Magus right there. So now let me put these over here while we take a look at X-Nihilo. Now this character, he's a very unknown character, but without going into all of his history and all that, read Jonathan Hickman's Avengers from Marvel now. It is great, and from start to finish, it is amazing. And X-Nihilo is a big threat in the beginning of the stories, and then he becomes a good guy later on. So I really like him. So since he doesn't have any accessories, let's take a look at the head sculpt. Now I think that head sculpt looks really nice. It looks very accurate to X-Nihilo, because he kind of has that creepy smile, and he does that in the comics too. His third eye looks really awesome with that green paint there. Now, I love how it's cast in this very metallic gold color. In the comics, he's more of a yellowish, but I think for the toy, the gold really works. You can see it's got a lot of marbling in it, which looks amazing. Now, the body is just a remold of Venom from the Absorbing Man, which really doesn't bother me. The only new thing on it is the toes, or the feet. The feet and the head's the only thing new on this figure, but it still looks pretty nice. And I think his logo right there, I think it's supposed to be like Alpha, because him and his sister are like Alpha and Omega, which I hope, since Hasbro made this X-Nilo figure, I'm hoping they're going to make his sister Abyss, and his creation Adam, which is Nightmask, and Starbrand. I really hope that we'll get some of those characters from Marvel now. Since we got X-Nilo, I'm hoping, but if we don't, no big deal. But I think that logo came out really nicely. It came out actually really clean. I actually doubted it would, because you can see that it has that kind of A-looking thing, and then it has the line around it. Now, I really figured that would probably bleed through, like this would bleed into this or something. But no, it actually came out very clean and nice. So that's pretty awesome. I would have preferred some alternate hands, because his hands do look clawed here, since these are Venom's hands. And in the comics, he doesn't have claws. He just has regular hands. So I would have preferred the Venom fists, because if they reused the whole Venom body, they could have just reused the fists and cast him in this gold collar. So that bothers me a little bit, just because I don't. Maybe it's just my brain. Maybe it's just because I know these are Venom's hands. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But the whole figure looks really nice. There's a lot of sculpting on the muscles and everything, but if you have the Venom figure, you kind of know what to expect from this figure. And then you get the production numbers on the back of his leg. I would have preferred that to be on the bottom of his foot, just because that does kind of look a little funny right there. But that's no big deal. And for the only new piece that, or other than the head that's on this figure, the feet. These look really nice. I actually thought these were a remold of Venom from the Target 3-pack. I actually thought it was those feet, but they're actually too small for this figure. The feet would have been way too small, because that's on the Bucky Cap mold. And those feet just would have been way too small. Like, let me show it compared here. That would have been feet like this size on this big body. So that definitely wouldn't have worked. So these are new feet, which I think look pretty awesome. And of course they have that kind of dip for the where it says all the, like, who it's made by and what the year is. I would have preferred that to be smooth though, because the underside of his toes are actually sculpted in pretty nicely. So that would have been nice. So, oops. So now let's go over the articulation. He's got a ball-jointed head that can look very far back. It can look very far down. And it can move side to side. He's got ball-jointed shoulders that can move out really far. It actually has pretty good range of motion. Those are really good ball-jointed shoulders. He's got a swivel at the bicep, double-jointed elbow, swivel at the wrist that can move side to side and up and down. He's got an ab crunch that can move really far back, but it definitely looks funny once you do that. Maybe just because the way I have him posed, but actually that looks even more horrendous. So, but he can crunch forward that far. He's got a swivel at the waist, ball-jointed hips that can move out that far. He can kick forward all the way, and back just a little bit. He's got a swivel at the thigh, double-jointed knee, swivel at the shin, swivel at the ankle, and an ankle rocker. So overall, this is my favorite out of the two, since these both are, what did I say, Cosmic Protectors? I forgot there for a second. This is definitely my favorite out of those two, because even though he's a remold, he is really nice, and he doesn't have any of those, sticking with the joints or anything like that. So now for some comparisons. So here is Adam Warlock compared to X-Nilo. You can tell that X-Nilo is a really big character, and that's very accurate, because in the comics he's that tall too. So that's really nice. And I thought I'd go ahead and do a couple size comparisons just by themselves. So here's Adam Warlock, who does not want to stand up, compared to Rocket Raccoon. Of course, now Rocket Raccoon doesn't want to stand up. Okay, let me just hold him there. There he is next to Rocket Raccoon. Because this is his look from the Annihilation storyline from 2008. And there he is next to Star-Lord from the same era. Let me just lay him down there for a few. Then here is X-Nilo next to Captain America. Now, this is how Captain America started out in Marvel now. And then, once he was defeated by X-Nilo and everything, he upgraded to that new suit. So, Captain America is actually a pretty tall figure. And you can tell that X-Nilo is taller than him, which I really love. So, overall, I think these figures are nice. Adam Warlock isn't as good as I thought he'd be. But X-Nilo... Oops. I need to stop dropping these figures just because of Adam Warlock. Okay, let me just hold them. So, these figures are really nice, but Adam Warlock isn't as good as I expected he'd be. But X-Nilo is definitely awesome. The main reason I got Adam Warlock was just for the Mantis piece, because now I have all of the Mantis figures, so I'll be reviewing them every day or so, or whenever. So, that's my review. And if you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.